Right, this is the internal workings of the GT-14. So basically this is where the PCB would normally sit on top. You'd have two cables coming off for the tube, and then internally you would have a battery compartment in here. The way I've done it is I have bypassed the PCB, and there's a connection at the bottom, basically a spring at the bottom of that, and then basically the other cable here sits on top of your CR123. So basically what you do, put your CR123 inside, you take, right, I'm gonna do this now. This is a fiddly bit. Right, so you basically, that goes there. So you put your CR123 inside, you put that on top, then you use this rubber bung to secure the CR123 inside. So there you go, you have your positive and your negative coming off here. Now if you look at the multimeter, when you, at the moment it's off, no reading. So to switch it on, instead of turning it to on, turn it to on, pull up, put it onto IR. This is how it's currently wired in. Then when you put the multimeter across, you get the 3.2 volts from the CR123A battery. Now I have used this in the rain. I did seal it with red gasket sealant, as you can see on the housing there, and this bit here is sealed in with this rubber bung that completely seals the end of the battery compartment. I've used it in the rain, no issues at all. So basically if you want, you know, I mean, it secures the CR123 in there. But I will provide the housing with the PCB, which I have checked, and it does convert an AA 1.5 volts to 2.83 volts. So if you were able to re-solder these connections here to the switches, I've got all the wiring diagrams, so I know exactly which switches go where, you know, which wires go where to the PCB or whatever else. And then you would end up with a PCB secured in here, two wires coming off that go to the tube, and two wires that go to the battery compartment. But obviously you'd have to source some sort of AA battery holder, and being from an AA battery, being an AA, it's going to be a little bit longer than that. So if you had a contact in the bottom of the box, you basically your AA battery is going to be sticking out a touch. So if you compare that to the CR123, you're not going to probably be able to put a rubber bung on top, but you might be able to maybe get a rubber bung that sort of comes out a little bit, so you still allow you to use a AA inside with the original PCB, but you obviously wouldn't be using that. But I mean, it works fine as it is, bypassing the PCB and just going directly from the battery. The other thing is with that, with bypassing the PCB and just using the CR123, is that instead of there being a chance of you switching it on, if you twisted it like that, it'll only switch on now if you turn and then pull and then put it onto what would be the IR position, which is now on. So now it's completely off, still off. Switch it on, you have to pull and then twist. So it's a bit of a, like a bit of a dead man switch really. So anyway, so this is the housing itself. I've basically honed it out, polished out the inside, so it will take a 44mm kite tube. This is the front optics. The glass is pretty much clean and scratch free. Same for the inside. Same for the inside there and there as well. It's all very clean. I do have the front cap for it somewhere, and of course I'll provide the light pipe and whatever else came with it when I bought it originally. So like I said, it'll fit a 44mm tube. You can fit a standard J-arm to this. I've had both a bayonet J-arm and also a tier non or tier 1, you know, the dovetail Wilcox J-arm, which I've got fitted now to my D128. So yeah, it all works fine. You know, it's you know, objective lens moves fine and everything else. So there you go, it all works.